And we are live. Welcome to the ZPT podcast. I'm Z. This episode we will tackle about a very controversial issue. Now let's welcome our guests. Cyril, Chini, Mark, MJ, and Honey.
Hello.
Thank
Hello,
you for inviting.
everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Okay.
Thank you for having me here.
Now, this week, in this episode, we'll be diving into a topic that affects millions of people all over the Philippines, especially those near urban areas. Despite the reinforcement of bridges and augmentation of roads with new lanes, traffic is still a problem in many cities in Mindanao. So, why is that? Now, before we dive into the reasons behind the traffic, let's first understand the situation on the ground. Mindanao is the second largest island in the Philippines and is home to more than 26 million people. With an increasing population, urbanization, and economic growth, there is a growing demand for better infrastructure, including roads and bridges. And while the government has made significant investment in recent years to improve the island's transportation network, traffic congestion remains a persistent problem. Now, our guests
Yes.
will share their personal experience.
Yes. Personally, when I go to school, I usually get out from the house like 6:30. So, I get into the rush hours and it gets very traffic, especially yeah. Especially when you're going from if you're going from Bangkal to Ecoland, but but it's just a bit less traffic when you're going from Ecoland to
Yeah.
Bangkal. Yeah. And I was almost late because of a bus going to the. And what about you, Mark? What do you think about?
Well, for me, I have had two major issues about traffic. The first one of these is that every morning for school, I have to wake up around 5:30 a.m. due to how
5:30.
yes, 5:30.
Whoa, you're a morning person, Mark.
Yes, I am. Z. It's because the rush hour in the morning usually starts around 6:45, right? So then, because of this, I have to leave the house around 6:30, and I need some preparation time to get ready. So because of that, I have to wake up at like 5:30 a.m. And because of that, I have lost some hours of sleep. And another issue that I had about traffic was that one time during, I believe this was about 3 years ago,
Mhm.
I had a Taekwondo tournament, and due to traffic, I actually lost my match, and this caused me to get disqualified, wasting my months of training. It's very
Wait, you're a Taekwondo
You
player?
have a belt, right, man?
yeah.
You have a belt, right?
Yes, I do have a belt actually. Yeah. Can I
Can you
get
get
it?
Mark.
Yeah.
Thank you. I have it right here. Mark Jacob.
Red is
Wow.
one before black, right?
Yes, one before black. I wasn't able to take the test. Black.
So, how old are you when you started playing?
I started around like 13 years old.
13? Oh,
Yeah. So it's been
okay.
Very young.
hard work. Thank you.
Okay. You know, there's this one time I was rushing going to school and I rode a jeepney and somewhere in Matina, I guess, GSIS, there's a motorcycle suddenly crossed the road and the jeepney that I rode almost hit the motorcycle, like we almost collide, and thank God we are all safe. And then the driver of the jeepney, the driver of the motorcycle, fought in the middle of the road. And the passenger said, tama na, malate na may, which is true. And then they just end their argument.
In GSIS, it's very traffic there. Like whenever you
Yeah.
always go there, no matter what time of the day, it's always traffic there.
Every day, right?
There's no
Yeah, every day.
Yeah.
The cramps in your legs will,
Every
bro?
time, every day.
It's shaking. But I remember back in junior high, we had a performance in ADL, Ateneo Dance League. It was for first day high, and I know someone that was absent for the performance, and we practiced it for around 2 months. 2 months of practice,
2 months?
and he was absent on the day. I remember him saying when he arrived, we just finished the performance, and he just arrived with all of the costume and stuff. He said, "Huh? It's done?" And we were like, apparently, he was late because of traffic, and it's fortunate that his position in the dance was at the back, so it wasn't really noticed that he was missing. And yeah,
Yeah, I remember one time my mother asked me to go buy materials for her demo because she's a teacher. So like she asked me to buy those materials in SM Ecoland, and I'm from Catalunan Grande, which is
Mm.
quite far from Ecoland, so you know, travel time, yeah. So I started going there. I started shopping at 2 p.m. and then I finished shopping at 4 p.m. So I rode. My method of transportation is through jeepney, and I arrived at home at around 8 p.m. because of traffic and like yeah. At around 8. So here's the context. At around 8, my family would be asleep already. So
Mm-mm.
it's
uh
very early.
I tried to knock them on the window. I was trying to tell them, "Hey, wake up! Please open the door. Don't leave me outside," because they already locked me. So yeah, very tough.
But you know, hearing this, all of you guys experiences, it made me connect the dots and relate to the social problems and events in our society. One, for example, is the truck ban in Davao City, like 5 a.m. to 9 a.m., 4 p.m. to 8 a.m., except Sundays and non-working holidays. And since it's a truck ban, trucks are big, huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
big.
there
Very
is,
big. It's very big.
They're
I
paid.
don't know, around about 8 meters around there.
Mm-mm.
And then since there's a truck ban, there would be less trucks in the road, which means it
Yeah.
will help lessen the worsening of traffic in the
Yeah.
roads, right?
Yeah, that's
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
how the
Correct.
flowing.
And another one is sometimes the government tries to help to lessen traffic. I don't know if it's felt or not. Like in Cagayan de Oro, the mayor created a special team in combating traffic because
Oh,
there
okay.
was a lot of complaints in their community about traffic. And another one, have you guys seen that video recently in Facebook where a jeepney driver and a foreigner had a heated argument with each other just because of traffic? I think their cars hit each other or something, like their cars hit each other.
Mm-mm.
They left their cars and then they argued with each other. And because their cars were stationary, the cars behind them were stuck also, creating more traffic. And then, especially if you're a student, it's very stress.
I mean, traffic can really get into your head. With me commuting every day to go to school, believe me, guys, the struggle is real, especially with the rising prices.
That
Yeah.
too. You know, the modernization of our jeepney increased the prices of commuting, which is very hard for commuters.
From
Like
7
all
to
of
10.
us. 7 to 10, 7 to 8, then to 10, then to 12, then 15. And if you're a student, it's very hard, especially if your baon, if your money
Mm.
or allowance is 50 pesos.
Sometimes you
Uh-huh.
don't even apply the discount.
Yes.
Yes. Jeepney drivers is so I don't know.
Very
about-
very stubborn. Very
Mm.
stubborn.
Some of them. Well, what's your stand about the jeepney modernization program?
Uh, uh, in my opinion, I think they shouldn't like. Yes, modernizing jeeps is good, but like they shouldn't remove those jeepneys that are still functioning because with less jeepneys, it will most likely result to higher fares and thus us students can't
Yeah.
don't have that much money.
Transition from old models to new models would be very hard. And remember that time in class where we talked about statistics of if the jeepney modernization program would be helpful in our community. And apparently, due to
Yeah,
statistics, it said that it does help our community and the roads. But I can't help but to disagree. Like, I can't find a reason why from old models to new models it would be more beneficial, because I don't know if you guys seen the new model of the Jeep. Although it is aircon, it is very comfortable. It's a little bit
Price.
smaller compared to the old jeepneys, and it's also especially very expensive.
Expensive, yeah.
The new models,
Pricey.
and despite the statistics saying that it does
Help.
with the community, in my opinion, it still does not, because almost everyone except for the drivers of the new jeepneys would only benefit from it.
Yes. So, how is this relevant to the Sustainable Development Goal 11, Sustainable Cities and Communities? Kini?
Well, well, from the name itself, SDG 11 aims to make cities and human settlements inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable.
But what do you mean by that?
So, one of the targets of the SDG 11 is to provide access to safe, affordable, accessible, and sustainable transport systems for all. Also, improving road safety, notably by expanding public transport with special attention to the needs of those in vulnerable situations, such as women, children, persons with disabilities, and older persons.
Right, but how exactly does this relate to Mindanao?
So, in the case of Mindanao, traffic congestion affects the city's sustainability and livability by causing air pollution, wasted time and energy, and increasing the risk of accidents, which is why the students and employees come to their school or workplace late. So, this problem also hinders the development of a safe, accessible, and sustainable transport system that can provide affordable and efficient transportation for all residents, particularly those in vulnerable situations. By addressing the traffic congestion, it will achieve the SDG 11 through improving access to sustainable transport systems, reducing air pollution, and promoting safer, more resilient, and inclusive cities and communities. Therefore, tackling the problem of traffic congestion in Mindanao is essential to achieve the SDG 11 and create a sustainable and livable community.
Yes, I agree. Now, you
I
may be
agree.
asking yourself, how can we help tackle this issue in our own ways? Well, the answer might be quite simple. Mark, how do you tackle this issue?
Well, like you did say, the answer is quite simple. This answer was actually mentioned previously during this episode, and the answer is public transportation. When you
Mm.
have the chance, try to take the Jeep. For me, I opt to take the public transportation in my day-to-day life if I can.
Yes, I agree, Mark. Yes, I agree. I choose to take the Jeep to school daily to help with lessening of the private vehicles on the road. In doing this, less congestion is made on the road. Even though it is a very small action, it has a big impact on the traffic level in our city.
I agree with that. You know, if I only know how to ride a bike, I would.
You
But
don't
I
know
can't.
MJ?
Yes, I can. I'm 18 years old and I can't ride a bike.
Mark,
Imagine
you should
that.
teach, Mark, you should teach MJ, Mark.
I will teach MJ.
Yeah.
Don't worry, guys.
But I think
You have many
Mark's
bike
bike is flat.
It is flat right now.
But instead of that, I use Jeep to go home every day. It's a little hassle, but every little thing counts, right, Z?
Yeah. Well, exactly. Yes, public transportation has truly become important here in Mindanao due to how it can greatly decrease traffic. To put this into perspective, one jeep can hold up to 17 passengers at once. If we were to imagine each passenger traveling in their own private vehicle,
17?
traffic would really exponentially increase.
When you
True.
put it like that, Zaire, it is crazy because it really shows how important public transportation is. 17 people. When you said 17, I imagine
my
17
God.
different cars.
Car.
When
Yeah.
you think of that,
17.
it's so traffic. Not only is
17?
public transportation cheap,
Oh my
but it truly
God.
lessens traffic congestion too.
You know, 17 cars, that's like what? The average length of a car is around 3 meters or like 3.8 around there. And if you multiply it, quick maths,
Three
3
times.
times 17. Get a
Um,
calculator.
50.
Yeah.
50, 51?
51.
I think so. 51. Yes, it's 51.
Yes, it's 51.
You know, 51, that's like, what? 25 of me. You know,
Oh my god.
if my height
That's a
is 2
lot.
meters, that's like 25 of me. Imagine. Oh, wait.
You must be tall, MJ.
Five.
Yeah.
You must be so tall. You must start going to the NBA.
If you round up my height by the hundreds place, my height is 157. If you round up, it's 2 meters. Imagine that.
You must be tall. So tall.
Very, very, very
Yeah.
tall.
NBA player.
Well, now let's go back to Honey. Now, Honey, do you think it is necessary to do public transportation to help lessen congestion on the road?
Well, not only do I think public transportation is necessary, Zaire, but I believe that we can do even more.
What?
Even more?
Yes, even more, Zaire.
And what is it, Honey?
Well, when given the opportunity, I would rather choose to walk or bike to where I need to go. Not only does this give opportunity for others to commute more, but it can also help me exercise daily.
Yes, thank you for that, honey. You have even found more ways to help in lessening congestion here. That is why I'm calling all listeners right here, right now. If you can use public transportation, take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank you.
Honey and Sheeny must and other guests must be so healthy, huh?
Huh. There's
So healthy, guys.
Very healthy.
Very healthy. Okay. Well, that's all for our episode today. We thank our lovely guest on accepting my invitation on this episode. For in conclusion, the discussion highlighted the urgent need to address the issue of traffic congestion in Mindanao, which affects millions of people and their daily lives. Each speakers shared their personal experience and insights into the problem and its relation to achieving SDG 11, which emphasizes creating sustainable and livable communities. The importance of public transportation as a solution to decrease traffic congestion was also emphasized, and individuals were encouraged to take personal responsibility in addressing the issue. It is clear that tackling the social problem requires collective action and commitment from both the government and citizens to create a better future for Mindanao. Traffic doesn't just cause delays, it disrupts lives. Once again, this is your beloved host Z, ZPT Podcast signing out. Bye bye, guys.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.